just knows facts. So now I'm not trying to on the lobbies discussion because you don't understand what a lobby is. You don't understand what a lobby is. What's the largest lobby in the United States?
It's the pensioners.
Okay, who else is the largest lobby?
Teachers.
Who else?
Teachers and either 3 or 4.
Israel is about number 40 or 50. The insurance, it's the prescription drug, it's insurance. It's the NRA. Do you want to go through the list? No. First of all, teachers, yeah, you can go through the number one, and you can pull it up anyone and look, and way down on the list. But way, so you know that AIPAC, and I'm going to be very clear on this, does not checks. Jewish Americans write checks. We write checks. And we write checks to members of Congress, because that's all AIPAC does, is members of Congress. They don't do the executive branch. We write checks up to $5,700, which is the limit for member of Congress, and it is organization writing the checks to Christians and Jews that support the American Israel. I actually know this more than you do. Okay, this more than you do. It's Christians and Jews that believe in the American-Israel relationship that write checks to the maximum of $5,700. Organization that bundles it and gives it as support to
it's a super. They're top 5 strongest in the United States.
Did I just say how AIPAC is funded? It's individuals.
They're still top 5. It doesn't matter.
Don't Google it, sweetheart. Don't Google the top 5. Not even close. Not even close. I'm not denying it. Anyone can look it up.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Anyone can look it up. Look at the Washington. You spend time lobbying. Have you ever knocked on doors in Washington? Do you know who's there? Who's okay? It's the pharmaceuticals. It's the insurance company. It's RA. You can go through it. It's AARP. AARP is one of the top.
I just pulled up the lobby groups on RavenCynthia.com. AIPAC is in the top 10. It's in the top 10. Association for all Jewish front group to get funded. Then the American Chamber of Commerce and Pharmaceutical Research Manufacturers of America is number 3. American is number 4. Blue Cross Blue Shield is number 5. So again, not AIPAC.
Keep going, Ben, because there's lots.
Number 6, American Medical Association is number 7. Number 8, Amazon. Again, I guess a Jewish front group, according to this jokester. Business Roundtable. See, I always go back to you so you could open your mouth. You stuck your foot in it, dude. Yes, I'm a Christian. I'm pro-Israel because they're an ally. Because there's one free country in that entire fucking region. There's one free country.
Like American values and interests and defenders, and we can trust them. Israel's trustworthy.
Let me go.
And I will tell you, it's a very important thing. As Ben says,
waiting.
lobbying
It's
is a
literally
great
just
thing.
getting
It's
ridiculous
part of your
at this
First
point.
Amendment, and you should all exercise your right to petition.
Guys, go ahead. Let's hear from you.
Okay, Kaz, you've been waiting patiently. Thank you.
Why wait that long?
Because all of the people were talking. Now is your time.
I apologize that you had to wait.
It's cool though. It was like 20 minutes, but I'm
25 minutes, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna make it short though. I don't know why people are saying when they say Jews run the world. It has nothing to do with just Jews being good at things. It has something to do with the intention of how and why the position they have and how they got it.
We don't want that position.
But let me go though, brother. A lot of corruption, a lot of they've done a lot of bad things. Not all Jews. The structure is Jewish people are real people, and a group of bad people posed as Jewish people. So they're not. That is not a
jobs.
Here's the thing, right? I don't buy that. If y'all buy that,
I wish they were Jewish, I would know them, right?
real. It's just a facade. Facades, you know.
Have you ever met a Rothschild?
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? Throughout history, it's not like people just saying this. Everybody's been saying this throughout all.
People too. When I call that racism, what do you call it?
Simple. They've been saying
As people say bad things about black folks, and I call you call it.
What do you mean? What's the point you're making?
Well, you said the people say bad things about you. I call that racism.
What do people do?
No, wait, Kaz, I'm asking you a important question.
Hold on.
Kaz, wait a second. People enslaved black folks. I call that racism. People said that they were bad things. I call it racism. What do you call it when they call Jewish things? Whether they call Jews lazy, or stupid, or they call Jews, they think they're on welfare. I call that racism. What would you call it?
Run everything.
Run
They
what?
they have bad intentions, and
Who
they
have
spread
bad
a
intentions?
lot of pedophilia.
Salk had a bad intention, Kaz? Did Jonas Salk have a bad intention, Kaz?
And then they want to lie about things like the Holocaust.
Albert Einstein had a bad intention, Kaz.
About the Holocaust.
So do we say all people are
And all these companies are.
Michael Jackson.
No, that's my point. All Jews, it's not
I
all
agree with. So then why would you say it about Jews?
Not. Did you not hear what I said earlier?
Yeah. So
It's not. Listen to what I said. It's not Jews, but
Okay.
Jews at the top. The people at the top doing it. They happen to be Jewish.
Okay, who is a Jew at the top?
It's a lot.
Name one.
It goes in families.
Dude, who is a Jew at the top?
I just gave them.
They're not Jewish, so give us one.
They are Jewish.
No, they're not. So give us a Jew at the top.
Who's a Jew at the
They are,
top?
bro. They're Jewish.
Dude, there's no more. You're talking to I want to meet one of these Jews.
Bloomberg.
Okay, what did Michael Bloomberg do that was bad? He was mayor of New York. What did he do? The city got safer. Like Michael Bloomberg, the company.
I'm over there. I was trying to help him.
What did he do? What did he do that bothered you? He said he did evil.
His crime is being Jewish, obviously. That's his crime. She has no further statements. She just randomly blurted out a Jew.
Oh, don't say she. I was just giving an example.
Who is
Since it was
Jonas Salk?
silent.
Who's Jonas Salk, Kaz?
Whiskey.
Did you ever hear of polio?
The sickness.
Yeah.
What about it?
You don't have it, do you? Do you have any relatives?
I don't know. I don't recall.
Okay, you know why they don't have it?
Why?
Because Jonas Salk invented the vaccine so that nobody has it anymore.
So he's.
And then Saban figured out how to put it in little sugar cubes so you can have it in school and they have
It's
it.
important. So you see it like what?
Going?
The way I see it, here's the thing. This is why there's a lot of
You
confusion.
think we should still all have polio?
I'm responding. I made a vaccine for it, right?
So you don't
listen to this. I'm saying this.
And you know, wait, we didn't finish the lesson. You know what he charged for it?
I'm free, knowing how to do
Free.
it. I know.
Free.
I know. We're free. So he stay on the same. You want to over talk me, bro? Like, damn.
No fragility.
Sorry. But basically, you guys see it like that. I see it like, first of all, they knew what it was. They probably had something to do with it. The vaccines are not what we think they are. Like, bro,
Holy shit, so you're saying Jews brought polio into the world so that Jonas Salk could figure out how to cure it and take credit? Is that what you're saying? I think I just heard him say that. Did anyone else say that?
The story you think it is not really that.
I heard him say that, yeah.
You shouldn't trust the vaccines. Point blank period.
All right. You know what?
Because people test these vaccines.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the choice of you wanting to listen comes into play. It's a you problem if you want to listen to it at this point.
I'm not trolling at all. This is what we create. They create the problem.
Yeah, he's like incredibly anti-Semitic, like honestly.
Why? Just because they want to That's what happened.
Why not
He
one
is
of the
serious.
All of the Epstein's not part of these people.
You just said all of the Epstein guys. Literally, you just said all of the.
I said, look at Epstein.
No, you said look at all of the Epstein.
I said, look at.
One at a time. Let's try to elevate the conversation a little bit. For the record, no, Jews did create polio
You would
vaccine.
know if they.
Yes, of course.
They wouldn't put it in.
But
There's no such thing as inventing polio. It's a natural.
No, but you guys did, but normal, you guys did invent the trans.
Y'all push that transgender shit in
Let's
all
move on. All right, thank you for
real about this.
Let's move on.
It's because, this kind of rhetoric actually is like a double-edged sword. It like hurts you guys, like the Jewish people in the room, to keep hearing this kind of narrative, and it just stabilizes like all of your contributions.
Well, that's why I like to say reading poetry on Clubhouse is extremely valuable, because if all you listen to are words all day long, well, then you too might become an R word. Your audiobook that you choose to listen to is important. Therefore, use discernment and discrimination to know how much is too much Clubhouse. Hello?
So here's my big issue with a lot of this stuff. What's happening is that there's arguments. I mean, when I say they, I'm going to be specific here. I mean, anti-Semites like Kaz. When he says they, he roughly means the Jews, but apparently not all Jews. But what he's doing is he's creating an unfalsifiable argument. So if you just go, oh yeah, hey, what you're saying is totally insane, so let's follow it. Then he goes, okay, well, so again with the polio vaccine, like, oh, the polio vaccine was invented by a Jew, and then he goes, oh well, then polio must have been invented by a Jew. This is not exclusive to Kaz. This is like other people who are anti-Semitic as well. When you call them out and say, hey, what you're saying is insane. Oh,
You are.
Yeah, you really are, dude.
No.
Like saying that the estimate deaths during the Holocaust is a lie. That's anti-Semitic, bro.
Textbook anti-Semitism.
But
isn't veil.
But I've heard numbers as high as 18 million.
No, but that's not the direction he's going. If he's being intellectually dishonest, please let's not be intellectually dishonest and
What do
giving.
you mean?
No. And giving Cass credit.
It's as
But
high as 18
but we're talking here right now. And the person here right now, those estimates go down and not up. So please let's not be intellectually dishonest.
But I think that the mainstream numbers are overrepresented.
Oh, here we go again with overrepresentation of Holocaust. Why do we tolerate these? I do not know.
We're still talking about hundreds of thousands and millions of people. It's still a tragedy. So like measuring like a yard.
Trying to minimize it is a classic anti-Semitic.
No, I don't come minimizing it. You guys are taking it so when people.
No, it was about his statement. Kaz's statement was. We're not talking about in this room. We're talking about the person who said the statement in this room.
Well, I understand English. I disagree with taking it, and the reason why is because they're not doing something positive. I'm not saying that he's doing something positive.
Well, I think it's just your opinion that you understand English, because I asked you earlier if you knew the difference between an opinion like how I'm doing, and we just keep talking over each other because one of us must have a mouth problem.
Say this again. I had to take a few phone calls and do a few meetings because I'm trying to control the media and the banks of the world and Donald Trump and polio. We're going to go one at a time. Universal, please don't interrupt. So for those...
Oh, I just wanted to be a part of the conversation. Sorry.
It's all right. No, Holocaust minimization is a classic anti-Semitic. Why? Because it's part of this whole idea that Jews are controlling the story, and Jews are controlling the media, Jews are playing victim, and Jews are lying. That's where that whole thing goes. So you get into a classic, really it's a Nazi truth. And when black folks begin to parrot Nazi anti-Semitic lies, disturbing, since black folks too were the subject of discrimination and racism and oppression historically, like the Jews. Now, do we have to keep drilling down into this nonsense of Holocaust denial and Holocaustization?
The reason why I think I don't think you guys care about progress. And the reason why I care about anti-Semitism. Norm, this is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Before Abby got on stage, I think I was misunderstood. I was trying to build a bridge with not Jewish, but have a conversation with some Jewish folk and kind of tell them, hey, there's a lot of people that you guys are calling anti-Semitic. This is the worst thing that it helps the conspiracy theorists because when you deny represented in the media, or if you say that Jews are overrepresented in the media, you have to feel like you're committing a crime. Like there are certain things that you guys are critiquing my point of view, and that gives people like Kaz more credibility because you guys can't even conversations. Oh yeah.
Hang on. Do you remember welfare queens? Remember that term?
What does welfare queens have to do with
Ronald Reagan? That was from Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, I wasn't alive during that time. I know you were alive during that time, thank God, but I wasn't alive to witness.
I wasn't alive either, but I know that.
It have to do with being like
He's talking about the proselytization. He's talking about the proselytization of propaganda.
Too. He said Israel, you're also an anti-Semite. Like
It's an anti-black trope. It says that black folks are overrepresented in welfare. It's a lie.
But they are. But they are.
I agree. This is what you don't understand.
They are. I agree.
We're talking to people that agree with shit. Like,
Look at
yes, they
He
are.
wasn't alive during the Holocaust. How could he even?
Look at
He wasn't alive. That's the new standard for knowing about something.
Hey, why is it? Hey,
Is this
keep that
news to you,
yourself
El
out.
Normo, that
I'm not
black people
even-
are overrepresented when it comes to wealth?
Now, everybody, we can't all hear ourselves and everybody is talking at the time. Moderators, let's just do it one at a time. If somebody wants to talk out of turn, just put them in, because nobody can hear everybody talking at the same time. It's like a bang room. There's no point in everybody talking at the same time.
Mark, did you just learn something today?
No, we gotta control.
No, I'm trying to teach you about racism, and you're proving impervious.
But here's the thing, Norm. People,
different
oh
strategy.
my God. People say this, right? People say people are racist against white people. Black people don't like white people, right? And I tell them, do you realize only a small majority of
I like white people. Where do you get that from?
Bro, can you shut the fuck up?
Please.
Man,
No, you
nigga,
can shut the fuck up.
You look like a thumb, nigga. Shut the
Who is
fuck
that
up.
talking? TC, please go with
Yeah, like the fuck.
Dicks.
But listen,
Now we got black
and
people
I
on
tell
black people. This is
black people, and I tell black people, like, you realize what percentage of white people owned slaves back then, right? I'm that type of person. I'm not caping for anybody. And I'm telling you, that 6 million Jews, that's been a folk tale in the community.
Not a folk tale.
Listen, let me land it, bro. Before you cut it out, bro, I'm here to listen to you, bro. Just let me say what I say, bro.
Okay. Thank you for your participation. It's enough already. It's a folk tale. It's a lie. It's a Jews are nonsense from this guy. didn't happen, right? I mean, my mom, she must have been dreaming. And by the way, all those dead Jews, any minute now they're just resting. Any minute now they're beginning to get up and walk. So, thank God for that. They're all going to come in. It's all a big mistake.
The craziest part, Norm, is that it's the most documented thing ever. These motherfucking Nazis, they were proud of it. They didn't. It's the most documented thing of all time. It's like October 7th. The terrorists would go out there and they're videotaping themselves raping and killing. So they didn't do it. There's always going to be somebody. I mean, God bless Kanye. Kanye said that slavery was a choice. I guess this guy must agree with.
When Kanye said that, I believe that people get to say things that they believe, but in some instance. But at the end of the day, y'all can talk, but people notice patterns. And
at the end of the day, we got pattern recognition seekers, distributors of hate speech like NPC, low IQ baboons that don't read poetry. What's the last poem you read?
You're going to start alienating people who just have questions.
Yeah,
and when you alienate people who just have questions, it makes the conspiracy theories.
You just want to promote people. You don't. Yeah, no, you're trying to promote. Okay, 6 million.
Wait, that was the other issue.
Oh my God.
Yeah, NPC didn't say that. Randy, NPC didn't say that.
But whoever said that it's 6 million is a book.
Yeah, that person's been removed.
They didn't read that in the book, but they didn't.
I didn't mean to say baboon there. Could have just said that. That's really what I meant to say. It just seemed like that was a logical word for me.
Chicago where Brandon Johnson is a scam.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a criminal. Borrows 1 billion to give to crony non. C2 is a mafia propaganda organization. Affordability is a scam, and Johnson is the tax. Open the books, transparency. concealed is a mafia propaganda. Organization affordability is a scam. Brandon Johnson is the books transparency. No! Spending tracker. No! Brandon is the tax. Spending tracker. No! table, eating out the back. We're stuck in the checkout line, doing the math. You borrowed a mountain full of parking lot dreams, sign your name on the dime like it's free, free, free. With the red screen, every promise on the sheet to me. Brandon Johnson is the tag. They're the ones who pay it back. All the bills and all the spends. Now we're locked in. Open up the books right now. Show the numbers and I'm running. Transparency on every track. Red attack. You call it for the people, but the doors stay closed. Same names on the contracts. You preach about a football, then raise the toll. The whole city in a chokehold, just to feed the road. We're tired of slogans on a pretty blue sign. Wanna put a spinning tracker in real time. Not enough for the walk on. We're done. Johnson is attacked. We're the ones who pay it back. All the bills and all the spins. Open up books right now. Show the numbers and I'm running. Transparency on every track. Brandon Johnson is attacked. Every step, every check, every beat. Turn the lights to the ceiling, to the cracks, to the shadows. Brandon Johnson is attacked. They're the ones who pay it back. All the bills and cash goes out, we're locked in. Open up the books right now. Show the numbers and push the button. Brandon Johnson is attacked. With a smiling mask, call it care, call it change while you pass the hat. Your friends at the table eating out the back. We're stuck in the checkout. Parking lot dream.
type.
Johnson is a type. City bills on the kitchen table. Red ink, same name. You call it fair share. I call it a shakedown. Smile on the podium, hands in the playground. 1-3 in the dark, who's counting? Grace lights up. Now it gets me to use speech like a script from a play. Kids use this props when the catch that play. Brandon Johnson is the type. Every patient. Affordability, just a slogan on a flyer. Rent crime higher, why you call me a denier? You brand every critic in New York. While families do the mag. Just give us man. We're paying out. You got it. Brandon Johnson is the
What is?
What do you mean? What is it? I'm like,
Is it in the U.S. government? Is atheism within the U.S. government?
no, it's a secular government.
Would you choose a president that's an atheist?
I mean, if they want freedom, then yeah, for sure.
Communist and anarcho-capitalist. Yes, you are.
Anarchists are fucking.
Yes, you are. Everything you describe is anarcho.
Report the team take over. You didn't say
He
that?
lies about not being an anarcho-capitalist.
I heard everything.
I said
I heard it,
when
Maggie.
it comes when it
I
comes.
know lot of people seem to pass the buck. Look at this topic. They say, social media is to blame.
Finish the sentence. I said
People
when it comes
ask you
to
one final question. Talked about it time and
you reject all. You're stupid. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But if you're an anarchist, especially an anarcho-capitalist, you have evaded so many facts. Not like again, I'm being tongue-in-cheek when I do call them retards because I know a lot of them. But I think that they hold a stupid and very evil position.
That's projection. That's science.
I wish we could start from the beginning and you actually tell us up something substantive that we can like bite into here, Christianity too, because you're not really giving us much to.
He doesn't have anything to give, by the way. He just gave you his projection. Was all he gave you.
John, how
Not about being a capital, being in favor of capitalism.
Again, let's repeat back. He just said that was his projection. He gave you what he has. That was it. And as we can all see, there's not much there. He's like a wet sponge.
So he's still a Christian then.
Mashallah, brother.
What is your
Yeah, he was a Catholic.
Yeah.
I was never.
I mean, once a Catholic, always a Catholic. So
7 years old, and like God made no sense.
same for CM.
God made no sense at the age of 7. What the fuck did you know how to do at the age of 7?
He knew how to determine that he was an atheist because obviously in his 30s he's even more intelligent than he was when he was 7 years old. He's grown in intelligence, as you can see.
You can't even tie a shoe at 7!
I was tying my shoe at like 4 or 5.
You dumb fuck!
I was tying my shoes at like 4.
Is this your first time meeting Simon as he frustrated? The man has nothing to say. Just challenge him to say one smart thing. He can't do it.
Ask the question.
Exactly. That's why I say he's like a wet sponge. There's just nothing there. You could squeeze it all you want, but you're not getting anything. There's just no. The man is like autistic. He's autistic, basically.
Too much an autist. Not too much a schizoid.
He's neurodivergent, but like unlike Abby escaped an actual biological lab in Ukraine near Chernobyl, and thus you see the mutant rat freak you know as Abby.
No, she's not from there. She's
Well, Simon's not far away. Simon was in the library near the Ayn Rand section. And Simon actually, anyways, if you guys are looking to discuss God, if you want to be annoyed, talk to Simon or Abby. I am complete.
Okay, I will give you something annoying. Simon thinks he eats 7,000 calories a day and weighs 7,000.
well, yeah, eating his girlfriend's box. He's doing that.
Ew, okay, that's disgusting. Anyway, that's by the way, those were not 7,000. Nobody can eat 7,000 calories. Are you kidding me?
I mean, this motherfucker. Do you have any questions you ask today?
Not only was I actually and give you exactly like the pictures of what I was eating.
Yeah, we tracked that, funny. It was like 3,000 or something.
That's extreme. I was having. You broke
universal laws.
Not really. Not really.
It's another one of those amazing claims where he just asks questions all day. He'll send you a picture or something. But again, if you think you're going to actually gain any kind of intelligence or anything useful or have any fun talking to Simon, you will be mistaken. It's not fun talking to Simon. It's not informative talking to Simon. He can't persuade you of anything. It's literally like talking to a wet sponge. Hi, wet sponge. What's new today? Squeeze. Great. Moving on.
Yeah, he's a Neil
Megatron came all over the wet sponge.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. Of course. At the age of 7, you already knew and understood the Trinity.
He knew all of 2,000 years of history and philosophy and world. By 7, the guy's Mozart.
Messiah. Yeah, all of the prophecies that led up to the Messiah. You could debunk every single polemic at the age of. How did you know that it was bullshit? What do you mean it didn't make sense?
I said it didn't make sense to me. My mom would say there's this.
You're lucky Ultron makes sense to you at 7, let alone the fucking Bible. Are you serious?
Exactly. I'm not saying I was this like a genius kid. It's like the way it was described to me, it didn't make any sense.
I still don't understand Voltron.
Who does?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, let's just admit he's the Mozart of our words on this app. He learned all of human history by 7. He learned all of philosophy, mathematics. By 7 years old, this guy figured it all out. So I want to welcome you all back to the Roast of Simon. Let's start the barbecue.
I'm not a Christian because at the age of 7, this was just so boring.
Actually, I think Thomas Aquinas is like one of the best things. I actually was
Great, because Christian. All right, Simon. A little bit of time went by. I'm just kind of wondering what your worldview was.
PTR Megatron.
Yes. Well, being very subjective.
Imagine like a 7-year-old and like, well, son, I've been alive for 55 years. You've only existed for 7 years times 365 times 24 hours. You haven't actually read as many books as I have, son. You haven't experienced life the way that I have to know that miracles exist and that intelligence comes from, son. But Dad, God is an illusion. You're just using your imagination. No, son, I've been reading books, and you're only 7, son. Please wait till you're at least fit a lot of books and experience a lot of life till you make your final decision and determination. Thanks, son. But Father, I've read Ayn Rand in the library. It changed my life, Dad. And you never read Ayn Rand. You don't understand about Anne. She's a genius, Dad, unlike you. Well, son, that's just like your... I hate you, Dad. I wish you were... You're so stupid, you're delusional, Dad. Okay, son, take it easy, son. Take it. Oh!
So here's where the real critique is going to come in, right? So I'm looking at what he's given me here so far, and I'm looking under what objectivism is. Reality exists independently of perception, objective reality. Epistemology, reason, the only valid means of acquiring knowledge. She rejects faith as a method of knowing. Ethics. Now, this is the interesting one. The individual moral good. That's kind of interesting because that same pillar, the one from the Secular Humanist Manifesto. So, right there on that, anybody can rationalize themselves to anything. And the individual ought to pursue that as a form of flourishing, is a moral good, or as it's not always going to narrow down to that, dude. That's not objective at all. That's actually kind of subjective. What do you think of that, Simon?
Currently editing a video and is in the other room sleeping, so I'll have to whisper. But if you haven't read Ayn Rand yet and determined the difference between object and subject, then you don't know how words work, and I don't have enough time to explain it to you. Sorry, my girlfriend's sleeping, and I gotta whisper in the other.
You know what we should do, though, Universe? We should study her for a week, and I guarantee we'll know more about her in a week than he's known the whole time. You want to do it, Universe? Let's see who can reach. Let's see who can reach the epic levels first. All right, when do we start it? Start it now?
Start now.
I'm not home, Ed.
Honestly, that'll actually be really
The
funny.
phone place is buying a book. He's buying her book right now. I guarantee you, scumbag. He's buying her book right now. Piece of shit. Right on Kindle either. That's cheaping out. Because then he doesn't have to wait for his house. He's gonna have it like in 2 minutes. Fuck. I'm not even home yet. Rabbi, do you think more about objectivism than Simon time? Because this is his worldview, this objectivism, and this woman Anne. Is that her name? Anne Rand?
No, Ayn Rand. I'm buying the book right now. It's called Objectivism, the Philosophy of Ayn Rand. When we read this book, Simon will become so irrelevant, he'll disappear.
Yeah, we're gonna know, and what's today, Monday? Yeah, by Friday, we have to give a full
I would be really
I
impressed.
can do this. I can do this. Yeah, I'm gonna know more in a week.
Okay,
Guarantee it.
I've been studying it formally for like 8 years, but okay.
Have you?
Yeah.
8 years.
Read the Bible their whole lives and they never even understand it. So what does that tell us exactly, Ivan?
You kept that to yourself.
Okay, I just bought the book Ayn Rand Library, the Ayn Rand Lexicon, Objectivism from A to Z, and we're going to test Simon's knowledge of Ayn Rand philosophy.
No, we're gonna debate him on it. We're gonna own him on it. Like, I'm gonna become an objectivist by Friday.
So,
I agree. Great to see Simon disappear.
Wednesday morning or something. Like,
Oop, just bought another Ayn Rand book for $4 of Selfishness, the 50th anniversary. Have you read The Virtue of Selfishness, Simon?
yeah, multiple times. You should probably read the Objectivist epistemology.
You were mumbling. What did you say?
I said you should probably read the intro to Objectivist epistemology. That's
What is epistem, Simon?
it's the study of human knowledge.
And what does objectivism mean?
Objectivism is just the name of the
No, but like we have the object, and then we have the word ism, correct? Because I don't think a lot of people know that objectivism, realism, like the drum right here in front of me, or the table that my phone is standing on, those are called objects. And so if I believe in an object, well, clearly objectivist. If I open up a book on philosophy and it's about a subject, then I guess I'm a subjectivist. Can I be a subjectivist and an objectivist? Hello?
hello? Hello?
no.
I can't be an objectivist and a subjectivist. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to you, the R word who's been reading Ayn Rand for 8 years and can't even explain it because he's an R word. And that's okay. There are autistic people in facilities for their own safety because they can't actually. But Simon here, amazingly, actually, he works. He has a business or he has a job. But yet again, it's just not fun talking to him because there's just, but I could be mistaken. Maybe he's got a hot girlfriend and that redeems him. I hope so.
7,000 calories each.
It's amazing how stupid you can be that God, but yet the word itself exists, and so you can try to define it. Other people can try to define it, but you just say that that word is an illusion. It's just in your mind. It doesn't mean it. The word God itself can be translated into so many different words. What we're really doing with highly argumentative people that hate your words are these are stupid retards, ladies and gentlemen. People that should be despised in society because they're so obnoxious and so stupid and so fucking petty.
Yeah, I would say that. I think these fall under the rationalist camp when it comes to their epistemology. So the words give descriptions, but they can't actually force the concepts from reality. So that's why people start with definitions and all that because they're missing the observation to tie the words to the object in reality.
Thank you for your projection on why you don't understand that God exists.
The sun is a god. Okay? You still haven't defeated, and that's using an objectivist.
Using what? Sorry, you cut you.
This approach.
Well, the sun is not a god just because the sun is the source of all light. And without the energy and the warmth, we wouldn't have life here on Earth. That doesn't prove that the sun is a god. My objectivist, philosophical definition told me so. And so, I've refuted your claim with evidence, and I am not complete. Ayn Rand is a goddess, and if I could do quiz on Ayn Rand's toes and every other part of her body, I would have loved Ayn Rand. She would have been the perfect wife, and I hope to God that one day I meet a woman like Ayn Rand who can make all my dreams of marriage come true. I am complete. If everyone was selfish, then there wouldn't be any selfishness in the world, and no one would try to commit crimes or do anything evil, wicked, or harm other people or abuse other people, because everybody would be practicing their own form of selfishness. I am complete.
Mr. Universe, why is it when I say this, they're like, well, that's a personality or a person. Well, what is that? Is that?
I think it's just because people aren't just understand science and laws of nature and mathematics and philosophy and chemistry and biology, and therefore we have a failure to communicate true.
Wait, math, logic, those things are transcendent. So obviously I could just use that as a god also.
I know, but you have to present evidence to support your hypothesis. If your experiment can't be repeated, well, that's nothing. Not the scientific method. We don't know what is true. That's just your opinion. You don't understand the difference between.
Eternal, they're unchanging.
Then I think we have to first define what is the difference between truth and opinion.
Truth is based.
But is it your opinion that these are facts, or are the facts just merely opinions?
You're in
the Matrix.
You see, it's a fact that you're in the Matrix.
Final question.
I think we've proven here beyond a reasonable doubt that Ayn Rand most definitely was the closest woman to ever achieve a union with God, because God is very selfish and objectivist and not a subjectivist. And therefore, again, if we could maybe get a genetic sample of Ayn Rand and bring her back to life, she could possibly be the Mashiach that we're looking for.
Wait, so wait a second. So what view are you taking of hers? Because I'm taking a theistic view of Ayn Rand. I'm taking hers on, how they apply the universe.
I've just ordered over 20 different Ayn Rand books, and by Friday I will be a subject matter expert, and then I will obliterate Simon once and for all.
Her theistic views on that. At home yet, so he's got a head start. That's
I have been studying Ayn Rand since I was 7, when I found out that God wasn't real, just like Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. And when I realized that it was my dad dressed as this.
Math and logic is my God.
You can say that, but that's totally subjective, not objective, and it's your perspective. What I'm trying to do is find out whether or not there are universes, just like there are laws of nature.
The laws of nature, yeah, universal. I don't even know you guys. I mean, laws of nature, universal.
Well, look at your PTR. Clearly something's going on there, and I would say that is reminiscent of your symbols and hieroglyphics, like you said, transcendental, just like Ayn Rand. Because when Ayn Rand had an orgasm, It was the best orgasm that a woman has ever had. Some might say the most exotic orgasm that a woman has ever had in a menage a trois. And see, sexuality and life choices, those things when we're determining whether or not Ayn Rand is the true Messiah.
So the real philosophical question are the laws of nature, right? Like Newton's laws of motion, general relativity. The twist here is, but these real laws, if these laws govern reality, are these real laws that govern reality, or are they just descriptions and patterns we observe? What are they?
Well, you could go and they will definitely say that they recognize patterns. So since we all recognize patterns and people bring up the fact that they are pattern recognition seekers and pattern recognition observers, like everybody else, my N word.
If they have to lose, but it doesn't prove it. It doesn't prove it. Science runs on on assumptions, like experiments done here apply everywhere. They don't.
Well, have you ever taken the polio vaccine? Because I was just in a room with a Democratic aide, and she was saying that the Jews cured polio, and then an African American gentleman said that the Jews also created polio. So who's right? Who's wrong?
How do we measure the speed of light? Do you remember? We can look it up. Is he still here? Hello? Hello?
Isn't that just like this? Since it takes light to travel between point A to point B.
Oh, wait, and back.
And back, whoever said anything about
Wait. No, we don't measure it that way, my friend.
how do we measure it then?
Measure that.
Hey Grok, how do we measure the speed of light?
You like, Simon, tell us. Is it one way?
I'm looking up a lot on this stuff, and I'm like finding that this philosophy is actually kind of been, in a sense, like when you actually, like I can't remember the other philosopher. I can't forget whose rule it was, but it's a rule where you can't violate your own inference rule. So even on the epistemology of the very said, philosophy that you're looking in here, reason is the only means of knowledge. Faith isn't valid. So like the counter here would be the claim itself cannot be proven by reason alone with clarity. So like you're violating your own inference rule over there. And then it's a philosophical axiom, right? So we're getting into a Agrippus trilemma there. So you're falling under one of the horns of that, and it's not empirically or deductively proven as a result. So like, the system depends on an understanding applying all others like faith, that's special pleading. So you even have an epistemic faith within this work itself.
That's all it takes, buddy. That's all it takes.
That's part one.
Well, I don't really have the time right now to debate you on this. And I gotta whisper so I don't wake her up so she doesn't break up with me. But what's important about Ayn Rand is that she was a publisher and she wrote a lot of books about being selfish and conservative because the liberal left woke mob was taking over society.
That's what she looks like.
Don't judge her book by its cover. No. You don't understand objectivism. And I don't know if you're still just getting home. You haven't read enough Ayn Rand books yet.
Saying that, like, ethics based on self-rational interest critiqued earlier, just kind of getting into it, but it says Rand says the moral good equals what advances the individual's life. So
There it goes.
morality is grounded in self-interest, and that's conflict. If you have conflicting interests, no objective resolution based on conflicting or power or advantage can redefine rational. So you can push the line and say if two rational agents benefit from harming each other, what adjudicates that between them? That's the same shit in the fucking secular humanist manifesto. Pretty sure, like this, it's not interest, but it's like this democratic, like collective good for everybody type of thing that has the same kind of circular thing going for it.
It's trannies living in a. That's all it is. That's what it is. That's what it turns. That's what it boils down to.
Dude, I should make a music album called that. Trannies in a trailer park or something.
Nazi. They call them Nazi trannies. So it's such an idiotic thing. Ditheads. And Bob, he's got his baby in the background. He's caring for a child, but he hates life. It's like, yo, dude. Like, how smart does he think he is?
I can't wait until his baby is going to transition. Let's see how much of he is gonna promote transgenders.
Yeah. No, not even. No, Abby, it's worse. These gay parents don't even gay children. They want to have grandkids. Think about that.
He has gay parents?
No, I'm saying gay parents don't be gay.
Yeah.
From an objectivist perspective, Ayn Rand would say that gay parents want their children to be happy, and that just because the parents are gay doesn't mean the children will be gay, and that they should pursue whatever sexuality that their soul tells them to pursue. And we've got one there who marries men underneath the chuppah, even though he's breaking Torah law, and he thinks he's just trying to make people happy, and he thinks he's doing good in the world. But really, he should try to philosophy. He should try to teach them that why having, anal intercourse with another man and sucking another man's cock is like totally gay. And you should pursue a woman who will love you. And they should also understand that natural law means that woman together is the true symbol of God, because in the Zohar it says that where a man and a woman are united, there you will find the Holy Spirit, the Paraclete, the Shem. And so if you truly want a union with God, or if you're a Slavist, or you believe in Gnosticism, you gotta get with a woman. You can't do it with a man's booty hole. Hello?
I did come to the conclusion the other day that basically solipsism is just Gnosticism translated into Slopicism. I think that Gnosticism isn't the exact same thing as Slopicism. Solipsism? I mean, I just don't. Can you defend that? Hello?
We call them nihilistic, hard determinists that think they're in a brain of that. Solipsistic, nihilistic, hard determinists. That's what they are.
Oh my god.
Wait, you said they think they're in a brain vacuum or something?
Well, they say they could be a brain in that.
A brain in a what? A brain in a vat?
I think it's just both sensory experience. They don't.
You know what I really like is books, because books prove to me that time is a concept, that the now is all important. However, history books are a motherfucker, especially the ones that I'm looking at right now from 1946, because there are a lot of dumb motherfuckers on this app that want to show them the research and the hard work that these publishers put into these books, without a reasonable doubt that they are trash and that they are just here projecting hate speech because they're losers. And I've got books. I'm not saying that I'm privileged. I'm saying I got books. People on this app, they can go fuck themselves. Real bad. Fuck themselves real good. Because pieces of trash. Human trash.
Why is Simon Lee? He's still in the audience. At the Compton audience.
Oh. Can we, what should we call it, metaphysics. Yeah, metaphysics.
I think one of her philosophies, when you're drowning in the water, you just drown.
So she wouldn't have a fence. She wouldn't have a fence around her pool if she has a child.
No, like maybe natural water. She will just let the child die.
Crazy.
So I googled what are Ayn Rand's most controversial statements. What it says.
So this is the objective reality, the metaphysics. Objective reality. Reality is objective, fine, but that does not logically entail like capitalism, or it does not entail egoism. This is the gap you move from what is to what ought to be without justification. This is the ought problem famously articulated by
Government is a menace. She regarded government as a dangerous threat to man's rights, arguing purpose is to protect against physical force, as discussed on
Yes,
Also, on religion, she equated believing in God with not believing in life, claiming that higher power above one's own life is a sign of lack of self-worth. As they like to say in the community, worth.
Toofs. They got teeths. They got two toofs.
The essence of femininity is hero worship upon look up to men. That's how she defined femininity. She wrote, I swear by my life, and my love of it, that I will never live for the sake of another man, nor ask another man to blame. And when Abby was saying that Ayn Randians wouldn't save the dying baby in the river, I think that's a little ridiculous, but that's what Abby does. It says here, the virtue of selfishness. Rand argued that pursuing one's own self-interest is the highest moral purpose. That people should sacrifice themselves for others. So it says it's the highest moral purpose, but is it the most intelligent purpose? Hello?
Well, she leaves. So there's no altruism in any of this.
It's here.
She didn't have any kids? She had any kids?
No, she had 6. She was a big member of Planned Parenthood. She herself was a doctor part-time. She got a pension from Planned Parenthood in 1965. Anyways.
She couldn't marry a Muslim because then she would have to go through the Iddah period, and she had a period, so then she couldn't get married to a Muslim.
Speaking about.
She always think she's pregnant.
Oh, here's the funny critique on this. It's kind of just like this whole thing just reduces down to like metaphysical individualism. So that's
yeah. I mean, isn't all of religion? I mean, I would hope that your transcendental religion would be personal, selfish metaphysicalism or militantism or Anyways, what we're trying to say is, oh, Cora's here. Hi, Cora. Don't worry, Cora, I won't. Welcome to Is Atheism and Ayn Rand a Worldview?
It says mine.
Well, you know, Regal's kind of busy right now. Don't worry about it.
Isn't Randianism like a view? I don't know.
It's objectivism. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another word for
Wrong.
No, you spelled it right. No, you got it right. No, you got it right. It's Ayn Rand. Yeah.
Ayn Rand.
See, my complaint is that people just don't like the LARPers Club, the book club, the poetry club, the debate club. And so they just declare, you know, there is no God but man, and that objectivism, which is just subject. So if you just believe in object, but you don't believe in subject, well, then you must just be a deaf mute, a retard, or sufferer, someone who hates the book club. Hello?
What if you think that self doesn't exist in like a real sense? It's just an illusion.
No, I believe in the less the self with the big
Yeah, there's
S.
no distinction between anything. When things are illusional, then there's no real. Okay, so explain your non-monistic view.
Because you can just say that it's like a monism with like emergent, so it's not actually one in terms of its essence. It's one or contradictory elements.
Exactly.
So it is what it's.
Well, yeah, that would be necessary to its identity.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's not crazy if there are true contradictions.
Well, contradiction, every argument has its counter argument, just like action and reaction, or art critic and artist. And so there is this non-dualism. Dualism is what we're talking about when we talk about solipsism or solipsism and Taoism, or even Enlightenment, transcendental mythology, and mystics. Christ, our Lord and Savior, the greatest comedian and mystic who's ever lived. Hello?
Yeah, the bar's hold like non-classical logic for that work.
I'm not a computer that's defragging myself that can believe in true contradictions. So I'm gonna have to operate in the real world.
Well, the point is that like there are examples of true contradictions in the real world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Graham Priest gives like plenty of examples. I'd be like towards view.
No, well, I get it. I get it. I mean, I'm putting the tarp over my, they said it's gonna rain. Do I definitely know it's gonna rain? No. Am I gonna take the chance and having to pump out all the inches over it with a pump, so that if water does get in there, I don't have to go crazy doing this the next day when I get there in the morning? And I'm still hiring the guy to get there at 5 to check the pumps. Well, what if it never rains? Is it a contradiction? Yeah. Never happened.
Well, again, I just want to go back to the book club, meaning that there is a or a literal biological experience that is happening, which is subconscious, which is the neurotransmitter in your brain as a result of using this app and having these conference calls with other people. And to me, that's the most interesting part of this, that through our words and communication or displeasure within our personalities, we can actually create an experience, a happening And unfortunately, there are just so many people on this app that are learning English for the first time that you have to realize it's just an ELS support group app for people that don't speak English so good and stuff, kind of like, you know, yeah. It's a Zoolander nonprofit book club for kids that can't read good books so good and stuff. So I have started a nonprofit here on this app and with the state of Illinois to raise money and help people read books again instead of talking endlessly to generate the dough. Because the truth is, it would be better if we just read books to each other instead of, you know, yelling at each other and just passing off emotional discharges instead of actual intelligence. And complete, ooh, look at Kitty's PTR! You went full blue steel!
Did you see Hillary? This is a perfect example of the abundant hypocrisy of the left.
I think we gotta have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows if they've committed a crime.
Well, it looks like we have achieved our of relaxation. I would just like to read from the book Muhammad, Charlemagne, and the Origins of Europe by Richard Hodges. This is page 55. It says, Heraclius's victory distracted the world from a religious and political to overwhelm large parts of Asia and North Africa. Islam. When the Prophet Muhammad died in 632, he was barely known in Hijaz. Nevertheless, his movement, reinforced by the economic conditions in the Arabic Peninsula, produced an explosion almost without parallel. Within a century, Islam had tended to the Indus. Small bodies of mounted zealots ripped into old empires of Siam and Persia. By 640, the Islamic hordes attacked the Byzantines, and they had lost Palestine and Syria. In 642, they lost Alexandria. Between 3 and 677, Constantinople faced 698, the return of Carthage. 12 years later, the Arabs crossed into Spain and into Provence. But at the same time, in 717, Constantinople faced its most serious siege yet, which lasted 12 months through a severe winter. The Arabs withdrew. Leo III, from 717 to 741, the newly crowned emperor, held the city. The victory of Charles Martel at Poitiers was the event that symbolized the end of the Arab expansion in the West. In the mid-8th century, the vast Islamic empire suffered its first political strains, and the Umayyad dynasty of caliphs was overthrown by the Abbasids, who shifted the Islamic capital to Baghdad. The Abbasids.
That was John Kittle. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Cora, are you still there?
Yes.
Hey, how's it going? How you doing today?
I'm fine.
You're fine. What do you think of that? Do you think atheism is a worldview?
No.
Fair enough. Yeah, we were just having this discussion with this guy Simon, and he wasn't very clear about that. That's how all this came about. And then he said this is kind of with supporting his views here.
You can't build a worldview on the answer to a single question.
Sure. Anyway, I think I'm gonna jump off for a few. Do you want me to donate the room to you? You can shoot, some of the topics if you want. I'm gonna jump off for a bit, and I gotta make dinner, dude. Can't stay on here all day.
All right, have fun.
Hello?
Why? Because you have to have an event that immediately affects Americans for Americans to sacrifice their dollar. American consumers.
Took out NGOs. Well, we took away NGOs. Think about it. If we took away NGOs, there'd be less confusion when it comes to moving around. Excuse me, hold on, Mr. NPC. I apologize for interrupting. But I'm hearing a lot of great dialogue talking about issues in California. But but the big thing that needs to be brought up is why is taxation so aggressive over there? Because let's take the big thing like we're talking about the forestry, okay? A very critical thing. And he even wrote a paper, he said, about it, by basically controlling the ecosystem by eliminating dead debris, which naturally is fuel for fires. Well, let's think about this. Why did they deny controlled burns to destroy? Why? Because someone convinced a politician that bad for the environment. And you could trace it down to, have a good sense of humor. Figure out everything that's asked from the state of California, from the federal government, or not from the federal government, but asked in the taxes. And then if you look where into that element, then do a FOIA report, or a FISA report, and then realize, hey, why is it kicked to an NGO? Why is there more project? And then when you dive into it, oh wait, why do we have third-party contracts to do forestry survey? Why do we have third-party contractors coming in doing biological, engineering, biological survey? Why we can find out where the money's being funneled. You're paying so much taxes. Personal dumb opinion, and you guys probably going to tell me I'm dumb for saying it, is when you have NGOs, you have an excuse to that they're going to have to, instead of a FISA report, they're going to have to they're going to subpoena documents, subpoena, figure out where the money's getting tracked, and we all know that could be a 12 to 24 month process. That's simple as that. That's just my dumb opinion. Thank you for that.
Well, where did the $25 billion for homelessness go? We don't even know.
No, listen, it doesn't matter how it wastes, it doesn't matter how inefficient we are. Examples. Anybody else have any examples? You have to prove how inefficient the government in California does. Does anyone else have any examples?
I care where it goes. I don't know.
Because we don't care where it goes. Because life is as simple, politics is as simple as this. Get more money from the rich and it's going to solve itself. Once we have more money, it's just going to solve the problems.
No, dude,
it's not about anything other than that.
Minimizing it down to just that is like being disingenuous.
Manage
management of more money and wealth. That's the problem. How do we manage it? How do we a lot of money? It's like it's a new phenomenon. It's like, how old is it?
Well, you know,
within the last 10 years, people are like billionaires. We haven't seen this before. How are we going to deal with that? We have to.
We've seen it in France. In France, they did it, and the millionaires and billionaires just left France. That's all that happened.
Yeah, and like I know what the reality. Someone just said that Elon Musk is the richest person on. If you believe, the reason why my name is NPCs for people, like, if you believe that Elon Musk is the richest person on the planet, the richest person on the planet, like, their income, and they're probably somewhere in Saudi Arabia or some shit. Like, this is what I'm talking about. When I say these, like, really, really extreme things, that's what y'all are saying. Because when you guys talk about taxing people, you speak in a way as if the government, whether federal or state, has a track history of using that money effectively. If this was like fucking Robin Hood, if this was a situation where giving to the poor, maybe you could justify it, but happening. You talk as if that's happening. The government takes $1, it spits out a nickel, gives a nickel to a poor person, and then the 95 cents goes somewhere else.
It goes to administering the 5 cents.
It goes, and then you guys speak as if, like, and then you guys speak as the person wants low taxes are helping the rich. So you're gonna make poor people poor, so rich people.
I mean, like,
Would you rather be taxing poor people and then giving it on in the form of subsidies? Because that's what's happening. You're saying, why would we tax rich people? The government's not going to use it efficiently to give it back to poor people. Well, why the fuck would we tax poor people? Give it back to rich people.
Don't pay taxes.
Stupid fucking logic is that.
Poor people don't pay taxes.
So
everybody hates them for
you know? Did you know that it is rich because of subsidies? Because of taxpayer money?
He got rich way before he got any subsidies.
How
Way
about
before.
He's
How
rich
about
because
we stop taxing
people pay to have their problem.
absolutely do pay taxes, by the way.
Because he
I'm a poor person and I pay taxes. Like, I'm a poor person and I pay taxes. And y'all,
like when you buy liquor or a cigarette.
No, I have income taxes. I have no idea why I have this, but there's something.
Well, they gave it that account.
So y'all, he's not Norm, he's not a Jew, so pretty bad. And he's not Jew. So y'all,
We used to
what
have
I'm saying.
a hierarchy structure that worked. And it worked because it was based on something. The whites created it. And those were like the old type of white people, maybe European, with some aristocratic background, but like a pedigree. Americans, like idiots like Bill Gates and Elon Musk, they come into the picture and then they become like the new types of rich. But that's what communism, like China's communism, is benefiting from, is like that sort of power structure has somehow been diminished where it actually worked and they could have nothing against it. But because of these fucking monkeys like Elon Musk, okay, so what? He copies
you calling a monkey?
Fucking time.
That's
Okay,
racist.
he does like what?
Wait. You guys are complaining about
Because African American.
that is filthy. We don't allow.
No, but she's not even coherent.
And you have to, it's a mismanagement of your minorities.
We need to make the way in America.
Wait, can y'all? All right, so Bibi. No, she interrupted. She literally interrupted me. Literally.
Can I get in?
Like literally nothing she said. And I let her say it because I wanted to see where she'd go, but she's completely coherent. Like, she's interviewing. Nothing that she says was rich. So why can't I land? She's incoherent, cannot interrupt me.
By the way.
So at the end of the day, giving governments more money solves problems. The only thing I'm saying is this: the way that the system is now, a philosopher can go over if it's fair or not, but we all know that increasing the amount of money that people are paying in taxes, well, it's the biggest lie that they don't. These taxes end up hitting everyone eventually. The second thing is that increasing the amount of money isn't going to solve the problem. So if increasing isn't going to solve the social problems that we want money to do, then what's the point of increasing the thing? That's my point. If we know that, hey, increasing the amount of money is not going to lead to the result that we want, then if it did, I'd have no problem with increasing taxes. We're going to end up with
strategy.
people. Exactly.
Expecting different.
NPC, can I make a minute statement to you? Just a minute one. The reality is, okay, yeah, we have a smart man knows how to play the taxes. They just read, and like Mr. Normo said to you, if you want counseling, come in. You know, in a simple words, even a money guy or gal, there and talk to a company worker. You don't have to be a small business guy or gal. You just get money. I'm just trying to help you out.
That's right.
The reason why I'm saying that, boss, is, you know, I'm going to say this. Orange Man said 20, but your friends all government tax write-offs. Why? Because they put it in place. You don't have to be a billionaire or a millionaire paying subsidies like Mr. Jarl was complaining about. You just gotta be smart and learn how to read a little bit and learn where your state politicians that are trying to be crooked on the back end. You just gotta learn how they put them out there in plain sight, because that's how they gotta operate.
You just need a clever account.
You just gotta learn how to play the game. Just gotta learn how to play the game.
Well, I want to put to rest this idea that Elon Musk got. Yes, he got money from the government. You know what he got it for? He got it for SpaceX. Because he was doing something the government couldn't do. Now, the left likes to talk about their NGOs and all of these organizations that get billions of dollars of government to carry out policy that the government wants to get done. And when it's doing something like helping feed poor people in East Mongolia who need education on the difference between leftist and right, and leftists, you know, need to be educated on leftist where our New York City, as it developed in the 1950s, they're happy to fund governments like that. But when it comes to Elon Musk,
I want to see pictures of lesbians doing scissors. Why not?
They funded him because of SpaceX and all of the satellites and the advancement in space technology that he was provided. The second thing they funded him for was Tesla, which what has the left been pushing for years?
Electric vehicles.
Oh yeah, electric vehicles. And so they gave, like every other state, like every other locality, they give him tax benefits. Why? Because if he did California, he was going to go to Tennessee or maybe Arkansas. Guess what? There was competition between the states. So yes, he got to do those things. And
that's right.
So that people, us, the consumers, would benefit, one, from the space technology that the government couldn't do, and number two, from electric vehicles. And those are things that, forgive me for my extreme example, but I think those things are more beneficial to us as Americans than, say, trying to teach a mother in East Mongolia about the history of
America.
Thank you.
In Afghanistan.
What? Why is that? Is that a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was,
so the U.S. government funding the U.S. government funding like trans Brazil
studies and all that. Yeah.
But that's fine.
Oh, was that why George Santos was in Brazil?
Well, I mean, like, that just come from a different part of the budget.
Yeah, that really comes more from
And like,
That's
have no
all of our money, though.
But it's taxpayer money in spirit. But my question to you is what do you think about? So it's not so. No. So if it's not taxpayer money, what is it?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
No, it is. It's outlined in the budget.
No. But what else would
in
it
Congress? This has been outlined in the budgets. All of this funding for shit like that.
Sure.
Well, even if it goes abroad, it doesn't mean it should go to stuff that could be.
Wait. So this is my. So I like to have real conversations. Given what everyone has said, let's assume that let's assume for the sake of conversation that increasing the amount that we tax rich people isn't gonna solve our social problems when it comes to. Let's assume.
Tried it already, but failed.
Okay, you let him ask the question. Thanks.
So my question is, if we are looking to tackle these problems without taxes, where would you start? Or do you even think it's possible?
Reallocate funds from the police.
Police?
Number one. Well, this is not like it's not like a defund kind of situation, but I do know that there's like an immense amount of like unnecessary tensions. Excuse me, no, this is not. No, if you guys are gonna ask me a question, please at least let me answer. Okay.
Why would you take money away from the police?
I'm going to explain it.
Let her explain.
Yeah.
So I know that
working men and women.
No, I'm money away from things. So like extra. No, oh my god, do you guys do this all the time? I'm sure they do. So helicopters, new fleets of Teslas and Chargers, things that are not actually necessary, and like oh my god, can you shut up, David? Can you shut up? Can you shut up? Did somebody ask you? Thank you. And just taking just taking like, shaving off a bit each year and just reallocating those funds to somewhere else, to lots of other places.
No, but okay,
to schools primarily, I think. So
built into the question is the premise we can't solve the problem.
Yeah.
So even can't solve the problem. No. Dog, I made the hypothetical. How are you gonna tell? The hypothetical is that adding money won't solve the problem. So away money from a police officer's new Tesla, or making sure that the sheriff's office of Bay County doesn't get a new tank, like taking away their like making sure that they don't have any access to nukes, and taking away the police, making sure that they're gutted. No, because they're. We're talking about the police, the worst people in the world. So taking away money from those people is anything because my hypothetical.
Nice for the worst people in the world.
No, my question is, money can't help the situation. How can you help other than money? No matter how much you add.
And risking their lives every day for like people like me. So I don't know whatever kind of mindset you come from.
So long story short, the hypothetical situation is you can't add money take away money from anywhere. Adding money is not going to solve this problem at all. What would you do to help the problem?
Nothing moves with you, dude. Sorry.
People are volunteering.
that might work somewhere
Like,
else,
there's a
but
lot of
nothing
things
moves
that
without
money
money.
doesn't help. I mean, like for example, improving. The more you spend on a school doesn't mean it's going to do better. In fact, there's like a minimal amount you need to spend. But Bill and Melinda Gates ended up figuring this out well over a decade. They ended up realizing, well, it's you have to focus on a lot of things outside of the school to really make any kind of fucking difference. And often that could be well. It's so there's so many things. What control can you have? Like, for example, what kind of parents do you have? Are they even around? Do you have what kind of environment? You can't even change that.
I mean, it can.
No, it can't actually. I mean, for example, I worked. No, it can't. When I was working with the here in my county, you had the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community, which has very large casinos and spring training facilities. They bring in a lot. He gets a per cap check every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
They make a lot of money. Now, they had a lot of issues. This is intergenerational. What they ended up having is, once the per cap checks were coming in, they're like, oh shit, they're partying. There goes the domestic assaults, the drunk driving incidents, everything. But they're still not doing any better. The kids are still fucking up. Payees to make sure that they don't go out doing. They had to get basically to and to do a lot of parenting, honestly, and so and we don't have the ability to do this for everybody in America. So it's
I'm not talking about every. To do fine.
If you have a vision of good.
Yeah. So when I say like putting things into schools, this means like reintroducing like post-elementary after-school programs, something that I think actually disincentivizes young people to continue their education, to stay engaged. They don't have streets, like things that like people like Alan and Alan and Normo kind of, had these structures. It's not about what the school's job is. They asked me how to help, right? So like when I say school, so when I say school, I'm sorry, Normo, I didn't hear what you said.
What structure do I have?
Okay, so like back in the before times in the 1900s, like you guys had like social programs, right?
I don't think
there were none. There were none.
We had a lot less social programs in the first half of the 20th century than we did in the latter half. People don't really realize this too. A lot of those immigrants that you saw come here from Europe, a big chunk of them ended up having to go home because there was zero safety nets for them. And so poor people were a lot poorer back then. But even then, you can save money and all these. But why is one of the poorest communities in New York City? Why are their kids? Why do they outperform every other group? And that's the Chinese. Literally, more than half of them live under the poverty. They do better than every group.
Dude.
It's because the Chinese control the media.
I mean, they had the whole party.
Yeah, there might be cultural pressures from the parents.
Well, then maybe there's culture that needs to change in America too, because it seems like it's not money, it's got culture.
Did you just say depression? Did you just say depression to achieve?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I said there might be cultural pressures to achieve. Like this is like a common narrative amongst migrant, refugee, and immigrant people.
Yeah, you're right. But like so my thing is like, all right, so we don't really have any answers on whether then add more money and the problem's gonna go away. But
what? No, I was in the middle of giving more answers before I got jumped.
Oh my bad.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah. Like incentivize more, I guess like extracurricular support for kids that is low to no cost. And this is not like just like straight up babysitter shit. This is like, oh, let's build leaders type shit. You know what I mean? Like if it's the world's gonna be STEM, let it be STEM. If the world's gonna be politics, let it be politics. Definitely increase civics classes and make like that compulsory learning, like offer free classes.
Like an electrician or something.
Okay, yeah, and that's cool. So make sure that the opportunities
But how
competition.
making
This doesn't improve.
Well, what about the current homeless? No, what about the because like.
Said, oh, you don't want to know my thoughts on homelessness. This is probably gonna make me the worst.
No. It's like
keep talking over.
Like the current homelessness. How are you?
Okay, Othello. Did you hold on, NPC? Othello, did you have some? Sorry, I'm talking so much.
No, I was saying that they don't want to know any thoughts because they keep talking over you every time you speak.
Oh, I mean, it's fine. I have a twin sister, so I'm used to being spoken over.
I'm just curious. Look at the and that kind of homelessness out in California. Once again, with that job that I had, this is something that was. And California is kind of a dumping ground for a lot of those people for reasons. These are what we consider long-term homeless. The vast majority never end up out on the street like that. These are almost all people that are seriously mentally ill, drug addicted, but often both. And that is a pop that's incredibly hard to deal with. So, like, I can give you an example. You can put the seriously mentally ill here, like in my county. You can find a place where they live. We have funding for that. If that seriously mentally ill person wants to do drugs, they can't do drugs where they live. Staff aren't gonna, they'll get kicked out. You can't have drugs out of, I believe, or state funded. And so, where do they go? On the fucking streets? And it's a very sad situation, but a lot of this is, it's not as simple as it looks. But when you look at California, they waste so much fucking money. It is taxes, it's robbery in California.
So I have a question, Pepe. In this case, is it okay for the government to scoop them up and fuck them somewhere else and not let them fucking get all over your streets, bring the fucking property values down, and like it's like almost like they're doing some political parties bidding, and that's why they're out to be doing these things? Because to be honest, they probably could if they wanted to. If they really wanted to, they could be rehabilitated, but sometimes
there's usually the relapse.
But if they don't,
it usually takes multiple attempts if they ever get clean. That's the reality.
Why do they have to do it in fashion and shit on everybody else's parades?
Michael Jordan.
Okay, so Pepe, I'm just gonna address quickly what you said, and then we can move. Like, homelessness for me is like a different type of issue. As a person who was homeless during the pandemic, I learned a lot about homelessness. I learned how invisible you feel and how people treat you, and I wasn't mentally ill or drug addicted. I definitely lost both my this time and 5 of my family members. And so, you know, if I weren't built of tougher stuff, I think I would have easily sunken into the place claimed, you know, more than 260,000 people in California. So to me, the way to address this is to do it before, right? So like for the people who are about to lose their home, they're likely mostly families or struggling whatever entertainer thing. That is not as much of a future that definitely is here. I can't just think of, you know, of what those things might be right now, but I'm sure that it's better than, you know, asking for money and then being gone. I understand, you know, what everybody's been saying about missing money and promise projects. So this is one of those ways. Like, homeless prevention is a way to prevent, like, not just, you know, family, but people entering into a space where now you are drug addicted, now you are mentally ill, and for a lot of people who are homeless, you don't want to leave homelessness because it offers you a pathway to freedom as locked up in a system, and that's not something that you've been used to for the, I don't know, X number of years you've been homeless, right?
I can kind of get what you're saying, but I just want to make one little point, and that's when I say mental illness, that's you're almost always referring to the SMI system, seriously mentally ill. So that's going to be schizophrenia and that kind of stuff, which always precedes the homelessness and the drug addiction. usually end up, I don't know if you've known drug addicts, but it's often, and their life ends up spiraling. They end up not being able to keep.
Yeah, I'm aware. It's incredibly hard to battle back from that for sure. So I would also bring back mental health facilities, aka, but make it like less inhumane and more ethical. You know what I mean? The reason they closed down
in like these asylums, they were like almost like, you know, like 3 cuts. But today it's like there's so many of them.
No, they really weren't. I don't know. Maybe that's on the East Coast.
So if it's like, let's say society like deal with like that part of their communities, it's like, how are we gonna find funding for that? Where are we gonna put them? And it's like, but maybe some more emphasis.
Well, no, she's like,
put on this. Yeah. You know, maybe we have to come to that.
Well, what she said she felt invisible when she. That is the homeless and seriously mentally ill population. They tend not to be civically engaged. They tend to have no fucking voice anybody will listen to. Nobody is gonna, you know, unlike, I don't know, some of the lobbying groups who are gonna fucking hound all of the politicians, favors and, you know, spending on things that them and help make them more money. The homeless they have nothing.
I mean, yeah, unless, you know, and it's hard, you know, was civically minded before you entered homelessness. I mean, like, once that time in your life levels out, you become, I've seen incredibly energized to speak. But yeah, I mean, like, it's a grueling process, and like, you know, I'm kind of split. I think a lot of people come to Southern California to just kind of use it up for its wares. I wish those people would go back to where the fuck they came from, instead of being on meth in 6 months and becoming homeless. I of dreams that makes people delusional so that they could go back to Iowa, Montana, Idaho, Ohio,
I would much rather be in Southern California than.
Of course, because it is actually climatically more lucrative for people to be. You literally will, weather-wise, you're less likely to die. Other people, you know, good luck to you, but at least you won't die in the snow and nobody will find your body until it thaws. Okay, so like, understand that part, but it can't continue to be like that with just no services for those people to actually actively, right? And all of that takes active work, and it takes care about the state. And I don't think, you know, the one criticism of right now of the government in California is that I think we have like some politicians on both sides and in the middle, shout out independents and fucking, who just don't give a fuck about the state, and they care about power, and they care about their voice only theirs, right? And their families, and like the intense, you know, of their legacy, their lineage, or what they came from, or whatever. And really, the state's too big for it not to be a collective effort, and for people not to, you know, kind of maybe not work together, but just, you know, be down to be progressive and move forward, trying whatever. So, you know, there are a lot of solutions and things. Is it any of that shit gonna happen? No. People only respond to suffering, so may the best man win.
And sometimes I remember I have this one coworker. She doesn't eat any processed food. Okay, our office is on the 13th floor. Okay, we have these really high tech elevators. Every single morning, she elects to use the stairs. Okay, she's rich as hell. Like she's rich as hell. She's like the most healthy person I've ever seen. No sugar, no processed foods, and it's not because she's diet. But she's just super. And she saw me eating a Pop-Tart, right? And when she saw me eating the Pop-Tart, it was like I was eating sewage. Like, she was like, "Oh my God, how can you handle that? That's too much. That's too." To me, it was heaven. When you look at some homeless people in California, they're in heaven. There isn't any to give them to not make them an addict, because that's what former addicts myself. Like, that's what addiction, it's a mental health issue. So the reason why I asked you the question I asked you, Xerxes, is because there are so many human problems that are much bigger than writing a check away. And the homelessness is one of those problems. Actually have access to services, a lot of them don't be within the perimeter to receive those services. You can't force them to. You can't put a gun to their head. The other problems we're talking about, the homes are expensive in California is because the people who are upper middle class who own the homes are really the middle class out of owning homes. It's not even the rich. It's not even BlackRock. It's middle class people wanting to have their homes appreciate, so they're just multifamily properties in their neighborhoods, which increases artificially the price of homes. That's why the single family home issue in some parts of California. And that's because of democracy. Like, people voted for that. So you can't take that away because it's not rich people who are doing it and doing this. So there's so many problems that you just putting money at it and then it goes away. These are humans with different interests and free will.
But that's why, again, it's the minimizing of just being, like, this isn't just when I say reallocate funds or when I say tax whoever, right? It's not just like suck up the and like.
So it's not about money, but when you say reallocate,
I'm saying,
and when you're saying tax,
listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying. Yeah. When I say that, I mean like there has to be of where the money goes. It has to be efficient. People who are trustworthy and not crooks, which is a problem in different places, have to be in charge of this stuff. And there has to be a set of checks and balances and an efficient model of getting this stuff rolled out. Not just because the World Cup, not just because the Olympics will be here in 2 years, because people are suffering, whether it be in the sun or in the
The dude, his name is Sam. He's the dude who created FTX, and he's in jail for stealing all that money. Yes. So this is what makes it.
No, you're saying Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yeah. Sam. That dude. What makes me uncomfortable is that certain people have a higher sensitivity to the greed of the private market, but they don't have that sense of obvious corruption, greed, and the same things happen within government. Private market, when a person's being greedy, they're greedy with they might have earned it by cheating, or a lot of them don't cheat.
NPC, can I just say something? I just
No, baby. No. That's a question in that. No, you can't. You can't say something. And then Monica's after me. So the only thing I'm saying is that actually, then she can go now. Monica, you want to go now? Monica.
Yeah, guys. Scotty, is this your room? It's a great title. Very interesting. Y'all are on homeless in California, though, so I do want to topics. Are y'all ready for us to circle back, or you need me to wait a little longer?
Add your incentive, Monica.
All right, so I think it'd be foolish for Trump to resign now. Joe Rogan was at the White House Saturday morning talking about ibogaine, which had a mitigation rate for 80. Allegedly, we should investigate that. It also might be effective in depression, and we know that liberals, strong leftists, have higher rates of mental illness in our society, so that will be great. Yeah, I think it'd be done for him to find. I'm ready to see what's next in store.
So,
You
okay.
mean like liberal-minded people have a higher rate of mental illness because they're diagnosed?
No, my sort of my 2 cents to this would be like, well,
I think it's because they're crazy. That's what they're saying.
yeah, but it's like,
Well,
Not crazy anymore.
I don't do
What do we say
unsubstantiated claims or
Even if you prove it, it's gonna move on to something else. People on the left have. She's just gonna say that they get more, and we ignore ourselves. But my thing is this: it seems I just rather prefer if people were just against big money. It doesn't seem like people are against big money. They lost $25 billion.
against big money. That's what
No,
makes
wait.
your country is.
Wait, you just said why are you interrupting me? It drives me crazy. You do it. Like it actually drives me crazy when you do it. Communicate is so schizophrenic. It makes me schizophrenic. You're the person I hate when they interrupt because you're incoherent. I don't know if you're interrupting. Stop interrupting me, please. Stop it. Bad. So the only thing I'm saying is that you look at $50 billion. $50 billion. We can only account for 25 billion. So let me put this into communist language.
And the homeless population went up. The homeless population went up during that.
We also
$25 billion. Imagine if Elon, if there's 25, if we took a clone machine and put 25 Elon, 25 Jeff Bezos, 25 rich billionaire white, 25 Donald Trump. We're not talking about unrealized gains. We're talking about liquid. We're talking about now just Trump. Every single time she does this, I feel like I have to restart, and it just makes my submission so much longer. I'm talking this long. It's weird. The only thing I'm saying is that it seems like, given a person's political disposition, they're against corruption in the private, but they're not against the biggest. If this ever, how do you lose $25 billion in the private market? If you lose $25 billion on the front page of Forbes, and every single MBA is going to learn about it for the next 100 years, how do you lose $25 billion? We're talking about liquid money. We're talking about, you're a billionaire because you have stocks that haven't been sold yet. We're talking about $25 billion liquid.
Is that billion with a B?
And these billion same people who are like, just give them more money. They'll be fine. Just get a person who won't fuck it up. They already fucked over $25 billion on homelessness, and it didn't even go to them. So my question to you is like, do you ever have the critiques of the government when it comes to that? Like, is there a difference in private corruption and public corruption? How are you
talking to me?
Yeah.
I mean, like, as a civic-minded voter, I'm critical on all politicians, whether they're on my side or not, whether they speak to things I want or not. Well, I'm a Democrat, but yeah, I'm a Democrat, but I mean, like, I grew up in a politically subversive household. My mom was a Black Panther, my Vietnam. I've been reading Kafka and Ayn Rand and all of this stuff since I was like 10 years old, bro. I'm not new to the game. I don't trust any of them.
Like the government can trust the government a bit.
Because what I've learned in my history of activism, there are for many people to fight, right? There are public places for people to fight, and there are inside places for people to fight. And I prefer to bring them inside using their own tools. So I will do that, and I do that, and I encourage people to do that, right? So I believe, despite, I don't know who else is like Black, but NBC, if you've ever heard like other Black people say like, I don't vote because our votes don't matter because the government doesn't like us, blah, 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 XYZ thing, right? Have you heard that before? I don't want to just...
Yeah. So okay. I fuck with your ideology.
I'm the person who's like, dude, this is what they want you to believe. The more you believe this and the more you proselytize this, the worse things get, not just for you, but for every person, okay? And I take it further, and
I've heard people say
I
this on the set. Say that on the set.
yeah, so I take it further, and I do things, I create things so I can stay safe, because I was like a public actor. I've been shot with rubber bullets, tear gas, all of that stuff. I don't really want to do that anymore. Really dangerous. I love breathing and living, but I still do want to fight. So every election year, whether it's the midterms or federal elections, I will create entire voter guide. I will call every who I think doesn't understand legislative text, explain them, and ask them, do you understand? Do you know how to engage? And they can take that information to other people, right? Because I care about what things do.
I love that.
No, but I like your. And what about government? Because when it comes to the best for private actors, we understand that people can be greedy in a private world. What about?
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, I've spat in the face of governors on the steps of. Don't think I'm like playing games with these people. If I see corruption anywhere and I have the ability to speak or do something about it.
Okay, so the way that California is right now, they don't have to raise a single increased tax dollar. They can solve all their problems right now without raising taxes at all.
Okay.
Fact of the matter.
How?
So if your mind abundance, there's a book out right now called Abundance. It's by Ezra Klein, and you can figure a successful integrationist. And the way to be a successful integrationist is by having a government. You cannot be a status quo person.
Having a what?
Efficient government.
Oh yeah.
You cannot be an integrationist without having efficient government. Because if you don't have efficient government.
What?
Stop that. Yeah, so if you don't have efficient government, what you're going to have are people who criticize the government justly because they're inefficient. And they're going to have to end the inefficient government just because they're status quo. But you're going to have what you have right now. So you get the worst of both worlds when you have the benefits of a government and people who want to are legitimized, and chaos doesn't really help that many people. So this is the issue with Democrats. They don't treat government like the crime against humanity that it is. Because government inefficiency is what I'm calling it to be nice. The majority of this shit is not inefficiency. It's just government inefficiency right next to...
Yeah, sorry.
I'm about to land. Yeah. Elon Musk is the worst person who was ever next to maybe Jeff Bezos. Right up there should be government inefficiency. I want you to hate government inefficiency just as much as you hate Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. The grace that you have heard from me is my thoughts of, well, if I, there's always to do it, how would I do it? And the thought becomes suffocating over time. I've been several times over several years, and it makes me consider the complexities of different, like what could I actually do? Even just knowing some people who work in government now, right? Like one of my friends who I used to was running for office, and I yelled at him. I said, well, like, why would you want to work for these people? What do you mean, like, are you okay? And liberal, but still, I asked the question, like, I don't know, like, is your soul good, bro? And he was like, I just want to expose these motherfuckers, and I'm never gonna get anywhere if that's your goal, right? And I'm happy I was wrong. Because he absolutely did get elected, and he has been exposing these motherfuckers left and right for like a few years now, so much so that they want him gone. He's young. He doesn't give a fuck. He uses all of the things that the young people like to see, big old billboards, memes, all of it. Expose the corruption into what? No. These are real victories because he's showing people raw data of like charts of how much money is being spent in the county on different things and how little of that goes to us.
No, but we already
what they can do.
But by the way, your friend is amazing.
Well, I don't know that.
No, but
no,
even
a lot
when
of
they
people
find
don't.
out, Xerxes, even when they find out, one of the reasons you're different, you actually you're a good sport to talk to. Tell people who are left leaning about the inefficiencies of California. It's almost like they act like they don't hear it. Like people, it's an open secret that California is probably the least efficient state government in the country.
Well, I mean, I have to be honest. This is it could be people who are, I guess, nationalistic to their state, right? I could say the same thing about Kentuckians who refuse the fact that their shit got rocked 2 years ago, right? You literally are living on stick huts because of floods. Think oh no, let's not even hear any of that, right? Our governments believe the same thing, right? There's no such thing as climate change. We don't have. Okay, what I do is just stop talking to them about it. That's what you want, right? I do this with liberals in my own state, conservatives in my own state. You guys are gonna, I'm not gonna waste my breath on people who are willfully ignorant. I'm gonna talk to the people who want to move. Again, things I learned from it.
World. It's a new brave world, by the way. Did you ever read that?
No, she's talking about what's called a persuadable. She works on the political metric known as persuadables. People whose lives she can make a difference in, and information and experience she has that she provides.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And I don't really care what side you're on either. If I exist, on the left, I don't, unless you're actually just being a fucking bigot, racist, or an asshole, I'm still gonna give you the time of day. I'll still engage with you. All of those things, we can talk about it. We can walk away, shake hands, be friends, whatever it is you want. We can do all of that stuff as long as it equates to. Right? What I can't do is people who are stagnant in their ideas. I don't care if your ideas are the only people that matter and we should only fight for women's rights is the most important thing. To me, that's stagnant. I'm sorry. There are tons of people suffering. As a woman, I understand the plight of females, and it's real, right? I'm not dismissing it. But also, what else though? You know what I mean? Because the what else is what gets us to tie our shoes and to start walking. I'm just not, I'm no longer interested in people who are just here for a fucking ride, bro.
You said y'all wanted something more. I haven't seen a climate change. And I haven't.
You know what? I really hate that about people within the black
Baby, come on.
Also, the thing is, it's a proof of low IQ because it's anywhere. All it does is always just take you back to square one, because it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. I don't know if it comes back.
Collect 200 and go back to go.
If it comes back, it's like, then you're like, oh, okay, something is being